A driver's honest decision. In today's story, you will learn a powerful lesson about honesty and integrity. You will see how one small decision can change a person's life. At the same time, you will improve your English naturally through clear storytelling. Listen carefully and notice the emotions behind each choice. Michael Turner worked as a taxi driver in a busy city called Brookhaven. The city never truly slept, and neither did he. Long roads, traffic lights, and crowded streets were part of his daily routine. Driving was not glamorous, but it paid the bills. Michael lived with his wife Anna and his young daughter Sophie. Life was simple but sometimes financially stressful. Taxi earnings were unpredictable. Some days were good, and some were disappointing. That particular winter had been especially difficult. Fewer passengers were traveling because of bad weather. Fuel prices had increased sharply. Bills were piling up at home. One evening, Michael was waiting near the airport taxi stand. Snowflakes were falling softly under the streetlights. He felt tired after a long day. He hoped for one last good ride before going home. A well-dressed businessman approached his taxi. He carried a leather briefcase and looked in a hurry. Michael greeted him politely and helped with his luggage. The man requested to be taken to a luxury hotel downtown. During the ride, the passenger spoke on the phone about an important meeting. He sounded tense and distracted. Michael drove carefully through the icy roads. The journey ended quickly. The businessman paid the fare in cash and rushed into the hotel. Michael waved politely and drove away. He felt relieved to finish the shift. He planned to return home. About 10 minutes later, Michael noticed something on the back seat. It was the same leather briefcase the businessman had carried. His heart skipped for a moment. He immediately understood it had been forgotten. He pulled the taxi over to the side of the road. Snow continued falling quietly. He opened the briefcase carefully. Inside were important documents and a thick envelope filled with cash. Michael froze for a moment. The amount of money was more than he earned in several months. His mind filled with conflicting thoughts. The temptation was strong. He imagined paying all his overdue bills. He imagined buying Sophie the bicycle she wanted. He imagined reducing the constant financial stress. The money seemed like a miracle. But then another thought appeared. The businessman must be panicking by now. Those documents might be critical for his meeting. Losing them could ruin his career. Michael closed the briefcase slowly. He leaned back in his seat and took a deep breath. The decision felt heavy but clear. He turned the taxi around. He drove back toward the hotel carefully. Snow made the road slippery. His hands gripped the steering wheel tightly. He did not want to delay. When he reached the hotel entrance, he stepped out quickly. He approached the reception desk. He explained that one of their guests had left something important in his taxi. The receptionist looked surprised. She checked the guest list. The businessman was still in the lobby, speaking urgently on his phone. His face looked pale and worried. Michael walked toward him quietly. He held the briefcase firmly in his hands. The businessman noticed him and froze. Relief spread across his face instantly. "You left this in my taxi," Michael said calmly. The man grabbed the briefcase with trembling hands. He opened it quickly to check the contents. Everything was still inside. The documents were safe. The envelope of cash remained untouched. The businessman looked at Michael with disbelief. "You could have kept this," he said softly. "No one would have known." Michael simply smiled. "It belongs to you," he replied. "That is reason enough." The businessman introduced himself as Robert Hayes. He thanked Michael repeatedly. He offered a large reward immediately. Michael hesitated for a second. The reward was generous. But he shook his head politely. "I did what anyone should do," he said. "I don't need extra payment." Robert insisted and placed a smaller amount in Michael's hand. He said it was not a reward but a gesture of gratitude. Michael accepted it respectfully. That night, Michael returned home feeling lighter. He told Anna what had happened. She listened carefully with wide eyes. Pride replaced worry on her face. "You made the right choice," she said softly. "Money can disappear, but character stays." Michael slept peacefully that night. For the first time in weeks, his mind felt calm. He did not feel regret. He felt proud. The next morning, something unexpected happened. Robert Hayes called him. He had asked the hotel for Michael's contact details. Robert explained that he owned a transportation company. He was impressed by Michael's honesty. He wanted to offer him a better job opportunity. Michael was shocked. He had not expected anything in return. Robert offered him a position as a fleet supervisor. The salary was stable and higher than taxi earnings. Michael discussed the offer with Anna carefully. It felt like a turning point. Honesty had opened a door he never imagined. He accepted the job. Over the next few months, Michael adjusted to his new role. He managed drivers and handled schedules. His income became stable. Financial stress slowly decreased. Sophie finally received the bicycle she had wished for. Anna no longer worried about overdue bills. Their home felt lighter and happier. Stability returned. One evening, Michael reflected on that snowy night. He remembered the moment of temptation clearly. The decision could have gone differently. But he was grateful it had not. He realized something important. Honesty is often tested when no one is watching. True character appears in private decisions. Integrity is built in silent moments. Robert Hayes later shared Michael's story during a company meeting. He praised honesty as the foundation of trust. Other employees listened carefully. Michael felt humble. Years later, Michael told Sophie about that night. She listened with admiration. She understood the value of integrity. The lesson stayed with her. Life will often present you with easy shortcuts. Some choices may look harmless at first. Some opportunities may seem too tempting to refuse. But your values define your future. Michael's honest decision did not only return a briefcase. It returned his self-respect. It strengthened his family's trust. And it changed his life in unexpected ways. Sometimes, the right choice is also the hardest one. Sometimes, integrity costs something in the moment. But in the long run, it builds something greater. It builds character. In the end, success is not only about money. It is about who you become through your choices. It is about the reputation you build quietly. And it is about the trust others place in you. If you face a difficult decision someday, remember this story. Ask yourself what kind of person you want to be. Choose honesty even when it feels difficult. Because one honest decision can change everything.